Remember what it was like to be a child with big dreams, with big aspirations, with a pure heart, with the willingness to go out and do the work, tap into your inner child, channel that into your current goals and into your current lifestyle, and watch how to start to change things for you going forward. Welcome back to another episode of the Unstoppable Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Crane. Thank you guys for tuning into the message. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and share this message, this podcast with somebody who needs to be inspired today, someone who maybe is procrastinating, someone who's stuck. I want to break down something very simple that you can all apply into your life to create more success. In fact, the reason that I got inspired to share this message today is because I observe my children often, and I noticed that they have qualities that a lot of adults lose over time. Qualities that would create a lot more success, gratitude, love, joy, and happiness in all of our lives if we are able to implement them consistently. Now, the other day, this is really cool. I want to tell you a story before I share these qualities. The other day, I took the kids on a beach walk. My wife and I, it was like Friday evening, took the kids down to the beach. It was like 6 or 7, sun was setting, weather was beautiful, and they're running up and down the beach having a blast. And right before we left, they saw these rocks on the ground. And Scarlett and Preston go, "Hey, can we bring these rocks home?" Like, what do you want to bring rocks home for? Like, kids are so awesome, right? And the first thing I think about as an adult and as a parent is like, I don't want to carry these rocks, right? And we had a bag, and our bag was packed full of beach stuff. And Scarlett goes, "Come on, Dad, I want to like paint them or something." I forgot exactly what she said in that moment, but she wanted to bring these rocks home. So I said, okay. And I brought the rocks home. And the next day we were hanging out around the house. It was the weekend. And they got this idea. They're like, "Hey, let's paint these rocks." So I set up a table for them outside and little chairs, and they got their paint out, and they're painting all these rocks. And I thought it was cool because they were occupying themselves. My wife was like cleaning around the house. I was holding little Bella. And it was just like a mellow start to the weekend, you know? And then Scarlett comes in. She goes, "Dad, I want to sell these rocks." Like, you want to sell rocks? Like, who's going to buy rocks? That was my first thought. But I'm always cognizant of like never shooting my children down and like going with that imagination of those inner desires they have. Because the worst thing you could do is create a jaded child who doesn't believe in themselves. Like, you expect them to be successful in life, right? But as parents, we get so caught up in our lives, and we're busy and we're tired and we're stressed and blah, blah, blah. Like, I almost didn't let her bring the rocks home that day. And then when she wanted to sell them, my first thought was like, "You want to sell rocks?" But being an entrepreneur and understanding what it takes to be successful in life, I always want to support my children, to try everything and to keep an open mind and have that willingness, right? So we set up a table outside, and she wrote on a piece of paper, there was 6 rocks. She wrote $5 for all the rocks or $1 per rock. And her and Preston were out there, and Scarlett's writing these little thank you cards or these notes for people that are going to buy them, like these really sweet things. She wrote like, "You are the sunshine," right? Like all these positive things. That alone is better than a Hallmark card. Those are priceless. And she's sitting out there, and nobody's coming. And a neighbor drove by, and she's like, "Rocks for sale, rocks for sale." And then our other neighbor, who's an older gentleman, I thought for sure he'd buy one. He was in a hurry to take his son to the airport. He didn't buy one. And so I went down there, and I'm giving her a pep talk about being, persistent and what it takes to build a business or sell stuff in life. And we're going through her little spiel, what she's going to say, how she's going to get people to buy the rocks and see the value, right? The value is that these are priceless. It was made by a little kid. The little messages on them are super sweet. And finally, she ends up selling like 3 rocks in the next hour. And then a couple hours later, she ended up selling all of them. But there was many times where she came back up to the porch, and she wanted to quit and give up, and she was getting discouraged. So I'd talk her through it, and she'd go back down there. And, sure enough, she ended up selling all of them. And it was so cute to see that massive grin and smile on her face, and her eyes lit up when she sold all of them. And she was like, "Dad, see, I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up, but I didn't quit and give up. And look at, like, she's holding up these dollar bills. She's like, I got money. I got results because I didn't quit and give up." And so it got me thinking about how simple it is to create success, whether you want to have a thriving business, you're already an entrepreneur and you want to start new products or services, or just you want to create success in your life, right? Whatever that looks like for you right now, whatever you feel in your heart that you want to change, pay attention. There's 3 things that if you can take this from my daughter Scarlett and apply it to your life, it's going to create more happiness, more success, more gratitude, everything that we're after. Number 1 is the vision, the idea, the goal, right? That's the first thing. We have to have that initial thought or idea about what we want to change. The thing that happens, though, is people have an idea or thought about what they want to change, and they immediately talk themselves out of it. They get discouraged, they get fearful, they worry about being judged, and you talk yourself out of that idea or that goal. That's what grown-ups do. Kids don't do that. My daughter had an idea to paint these rocks and sell them. That's what the fuck she was going to do, right? I could have tried to convince her not to do it. I could have told her no one will buy them. She didn't care. She wanted to do it. That was her idea. You see, children, when they're young and they're pure like that and innocent, they haven't been subjected to this world where things can go wrong, they can fail, or people can, undermine their efforts. They haven't been exposed to as much negativity. So when they're young, you got to prime their little minds and bodies and spirits to be resilient, to believe in themselves. That's when you can create somebody who can go out into the world and do anything, right? But maybe you growing up, you didn't hear those positive things from mom and dad. I never had my dad take me out to learn how to do sales or any of that stuff. Like, sports is what instilled confidence in me. Getting out in the world and just fucking fighting through stuff and overcoming things. That's what built confidence. But for me as a father, I'm always aware of how I'm talking to my children, what these life experiences are internalized as in their subconscious mind, right? And so the vision, the idea, the thing that you want to change, whatever it is, that's step one. Step two is the willingness to actually go after it. Most of you never make it to step two. You have tons of ideas. You have tons of goals. You have tons of things you want to change. Are you really willing to go for it? And put yourself out there where you can fail. Put yourself out there where people might make fun of you. Put yourself out there where others are second guessing why you're doing that thing, why you're going after that goal, why you quit your job, why you're moving out of state, whatever the fuck it is. Okay. So Scarlett didn't care about anything. She wanted that result. She wanted to go sell these rocks. She was willing to sit there and paint them, to go out on the street for a couple hours and yell to the neighbors, rocks for sale, rocks for sale. She even came back one time. She's like, Dad, not enough people are coming by. I'm going to put the rocks in my backpack, and I'm going to go ride around the neighborhood and sell them, right? Next thing you know, she's going to want to go back down to the beach and get more rocks and door knock and sell them to every neighbor. But anyway, the third thing you need is persistence, okay? Because my daughter was out there for 2 hours trying to sell rocks to our neighbors, rocks that they can get for free anywhere. She heard no 2 or 3 times from the first people that passed her by, but she didn't quit and give up. And I always tell my children, we never quit or give up. If you want something bad enough and you quit and give up, you're not going to get it. So we stay focused. We believe in ourselves. We never quit or give up. You need persistence to be successful in life. There will be resistance. There will be adversity. Your friends and family won't believe in you. You'll have some missteps. You'll have perceived failures. You'll feel discouraged. The economy will be down. Oh, the president. Oh, we're in war. Oh, business is slow. Dude, none of that shit matters. I've been through it all. I've been through prison. I've been through the ups and downs in the economy. I've been around the naysayers, the negative people, the Debbie Downers. Dude, I'm so delusionally optimistic that I just believe in the outcome that I want, and I will stop until it becomes reality. That's how you create success. For you, you're looking for your husband. You want that better job. You want that career. You want a nice girlfriend. You want to have a nice body. You want to move to a new home and have a nice piece of property, whatever it is. If you fixate on that goal and that outcome and that result, you obsess over it in your thoughts and actions, right? That's the vision. That's the image. And then you have the willingness and persistence to go after it. Nothing will stop you. Okay. And I say this all the time. 9 times out of 10, it's going to work out in your favor and you're going to get what you want. The one time it doesn't work the way you want it to work out, God had a plan. God had different plans in store for you. And you're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to evolve. You got to adjust, but it's always going to work out in the end. And you're going to look back and go, damn, his plan was better than my plan that time. And it's all going to make sense for you. But you'll never get to that moment if you just sit around and make excuses and procrastinate and let this time pass you by. Remember what it was like to be a child with big dreams, with big aspirations, with a pure heart, with the willingness to go out and do the work, tap into your inner child, channel that to your current goals and into your current lifestyle, and watch how to start to change things for you going forward.